Okay, here we go. Uh, you will not get a return of your picture structure anymore. Uh, it's just impossible to program it to make it usable. Uh, Once your organization gets too large, it just takes so long to load onto the computer. And then we will have hundreds and hundreds of people using up the server time just to load. And so it becomes not manageable. Uh, but the Downline Explorer is going to be further enhanced. And so it's a matter of learning how to use the Downline Explorer. It tells you exactly the same thing, but I know many of us are picture oriented. And so really what you need to do is just start drawing a little diagram of your own using your Downline Explorer. And you don't have to have big, huge sheets with everything. What you have to do is have your main players. So one of the things I'm going to do tonight is give a little bit, let's say the basics in it. I'm going to give two trainings on the Downline Explorer. One is just the basics and answer some questions that everybody needs to learn how to answer. And then the other is more advanced, and we'll do that in a second session where I would teach you how, if you're a bronze or silver or gold and you want to make sure you maintain that rank, how do you audit your entire organization to see where that one or two or three may have fell off inactive because they're in the hospital, they're taking a vacation, their credit card wasn't updated, whatever the reason, how you find that, how you locate it, and what remedy that you can take. Another thing that I'm going to do here tonight, a very important one for you tonight, is to also give you how to manage your volume from one week to the other because of renewals. I gave this training a few times in the past, but I see that people aren't really using it, and you may not be getting paid the amount you should get paid or your optimum pay, and that's up to you. Okay, so we're going to address those subjects tonight. So first of all, we know what our dashboard tells us, and this is Tuesday night, and it tells us our actives, and it tells us our volume. And if y'all all note, my volume has flip-flopped, where I used to have thousands, tens of thousands of points and more, and on my left side, I now have tens of thousands of points on my right side. And so obviously I'm going to be working on my left side. I'll still do on my right side, same thing I did for the first 3.5 years on my left side, but all of my main sponsoring and driving activity is going to be, again, back on my left side. And that's part of the way your business will go too. It will flip-flop, as I said it would, and now it's just done it. And one of the things we're going to do is go to that down. First, I'm going to go to points, because earlier in the day, and I made a note of it, you see points go up, you see points go down. Well, part of this is we just had the first of the month, and that's one of the subjects I'm going to be talking about. We had the first of the month go by, and you will see that people who did not renew all during the month of July were automatically renewed on August the 1st. Now, if you'll see some of these now, August the 4th, Claudette Johnson, Harper Johnson, Hugh Shake Snyder, and I can just go down and load some more. because earlier this afternoon, I had about 1,100 points on the left side. Now I have 800 and something. Well, there's adjustments being made. These are adjustments for people who had automatically renewed, but apparently they did not want to renew. And so they canceled their membership. And you can see all of these things through this Downline Explorer. That's why I'm talking about it now and looking at things that you're accustomed to seeing. And so let's go to the Downline Explorer. And now, if you've got a premium package, this doesn't cost you any extra money. If you do not have the premium, you have the standard or the standard plus. After your first 3 months use of this, it will cost you $10 a month. If you got the standard plus, after your first 6 months of use of this, it will cost you $10 a month. And they pull that out. You'll see it charged to you whenever you make your auto ship. One of the very first things you want to do when you come check your business is you want to check who your personal enrollees are. And you want to click on inactives, okay? And why do you want to click on inactives? Well, you want to see the number of actives you have to maintain your rank, and you want to see what else you have just in case you need to have another active. To be a goal, you have to have 8 actives on your left and 8 actives on your right. And we already saw that I have that, but I also have 2 other inactives that I could have activated. And if you notice, all my right side are individuals. Everybody's individuals. Okay. Well, that's because I went out and sponsored people, and that's the side that I was working on after we got kicked off with the left side. Well, now these memberships here, which bought coins, will all be replaced with new people, okay? And so just like at my right side, my future left side will have different names here, and then these will become yellow. Or if I want to keep buying coins there and get more of a variety or more of a state coin, then I can do that. And that'd be strictly up to me, okay? And so this is how you take a quick overview of that. Let's go in here and let's look real quick and let's see who recently joined the business, who recently enrolled. So sometimes you look at the points and you see points there, but you don't see that they've recently enrolled. That means they renewed. And so you see person's name, 100 points, 150 points, but you don't see them here in the recently enrolled. The name means they renewed. If you see their name and their points on that point list, and you come here and you check your recently enrolled, these are all brand new people just coming into the business, like Chloe Johnson. Now, I like to do it one side at a time. So I want to see what's coming into my business on my left, what's coming into my business on my right. And this is how you can make contact with them. And you can then click on this person's, because I don't know who Aaron McDougall is. And you can look and you can see who enrolled Aaron McDougall. It was Matthew Harris. You can also see that he's on the auto saver. And coming very shortly, this box will also include the date that they are signed up to get their auto saver. It's not there yet, but that's one of the programming enhancements that will be coming. It also tells me they live in Indiana. And if I really wanted to go down here, this is your genealogy line. Just like if you were mapping it out on a piece of paper, I know that Aaron is under, Scott is under Alicia is under Carter Key. In other words, this is that sponsorship line. You could draw a straight line all the way up to me here. And that would be that line I'm drawing through everybody. Wouldn't necessarily be straight on the left or right, but it would be to his sponsor, to their sponsor, to their sponsor. So this is your sponsorship line. And that's important if you're trying to kind of map things out, okay? And right now, it may not be as clear to you what I'm saying, but after a while of using it, it will be. Let's take, right here, we see Scott, we see Tamara, we see Caitlin, and it tells, you know, typically this was in rank or date order. And what they've done is you've got 4 days ago, 5 days ago, it's kind of mixed up now. I don't know why, but they used to have it your earliest at the top with all the way down to your latest person that just joined the business. And this will go all the way to the end of your business here. One of the things that we just saw on mine was some cancellations. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to look at just canceled, okay? And so we see that these were canceled 2 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago. Different people, the dates that they can't cancel. Again, typically it's in order, and I see it no longer is again. Hopefully they'll get it back in ranked order so we don't have to search through the whole thing to find the most recent ones, okay, that have canceled. Let's go to the right side. I'm trying to find the one that just canceled today. And I don't see them real close, so that means I'd have to go through the entire list. I don't want to do that here. That's not the purpose of this. But we'll see about getting it back into the rank order of earliest or the latest to the oldest. And that's the best way to do this. Now, canceled are people that were in the business, they decided they don't want to do it anymore, not want to be a part of it anymore, or whatever. They dropped out. They're not necessarily available to prospect again. As you know, if you look at the policies and procedures, if they have sponsored anybody on their left or right, then they have to wait a full 12 months before they can enter the business again without having any association or any activity with the business. If they came in and they never sponsored anyone on their left or right, then they can come in within 6 months of the date of their cancellation. Okay, so let's go back to the questions of how to use this real quick. One of the things that I like to use this, and again, I like to look at it each side. That way I'm looking at which side I need to look at, and I want to look and see who will become inactive soon. Okay, now these are actives, and I only want to look at actives. I don't want to have this check because I want to look at people who may become inactive. Now, just because they have inactive in one day doesn't mean they're going to be inactive, because you have to click on it like this and you'll see he has an autosaver. And so he was last active on June 30th. Well, That should have been an auto saver for the first, but he may have changed it to the 8th. Okay. And so we don't know yet because we don't have a date here. That's the reason I've requested that they put the date in this form so we could see it. Otherwise, we'll have to check Nathan again later. And we have plenty of time because Saturday's not here. Let's go to maybe Renee Fletcher down here. Now, see, now Renee is not on an auto saver. Now, maybe Renee orders it every month or every week or every other. But if we needed Renee for a rank up on any of our positions, let's say, look at Renee, who was her sponsor. Her enroller was Hubert Scott. With Hubert is an associate and Renee is one of his actives, then Hubert is going to fall out maybe as an associate. We wouldn't know until we went to Hubert's downline. So now, what do I mean by that? We don't have to know how to get into Hubert's back office. What we need to do is learn what these questions mean and what they tell us. And that's what this is all about. So one of the other things that is very important is to see who your leaders are. And that's going to bring up on your left side who your leaders in your business are. And y'all see the leader in the left side of my business is George Donaldson. He's been a leader since day one, and he's still the leader on the left side. Now, our job is to help George become go. So everybody, go. And see, now Rob's trying to do it. He's over in California, and he's coming on strong. Rob just became bronze this past couple of weeks, and we all congratulated him in doing that. And Sandra is George's wife. They are a husband-wife team like Pamela and I, and she is George's bronze on his left. Okay, so if we need to make George a gold, we need to make Sandra what? Silver, right? And so now remember what I was saying. What do we do when we're looking at a person's other business? Let's take a look at Rob. He just became bronze. So we can click on Rob Weger. We can explore his downline as if we were in his back office. Now, Rob's name is up here. Now, this is everybody in his left and his right. And we can look at his personal enrollees. And we can look and see who he has sponsored on left and right, and where his inactives are, what room he has to grow. Just by making these active, that creates another active. So you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actives on the left strictly by having a coin purchase, right? And so this is the real key, and you don't have to go start all over. You don't have to do this. You go over here, there's little pull them in, and you go back and you're right at the beginning. If I can get this, there you go. Right at the beginning again of the organization. And let's go to Pamela. And let's explore Pamela's downline. There we go. And let's make sure she's going to stay silver, okay? Because to stay silver, she has to have a bronze on her right and a bronze on her left. So let's check her right side first. Make it easy. Don't make it complicated. Make it easy, okay? So she needs to stay silver 5 actives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, 3 are inactive, but we can buy coins there if we want and get more states coins. That's how we get more state coins or more variety coins, and we get points going up through the organization. So Scott is the one that needs to stay active in 2 more days. He'll become inactive. So that everything else is pretty tight. Linus Marie, he's got a little bit more time. He's an associate, but we'll be checking on that a little later next week. Okay. And so this gives us the control that we're looking at. Now, if you want to know how these are lined up, okay, if you're drawing them out, one of the things you look at is right here. Okay, on the right side, the very first person on Pamela's right side is Cindy Kaysen. Wrong. That's what you would think. That's the first person she sponsored on her right side. That is not the first person in her right side. You have to look at this, left and right, and you have to look at who's in my downline, the whole picture, okay? Now, the very first person on the right side to her immediate right is Kyle Bright. She didn't sponsor Kyle Bright. Kyle Bright was a gift from above and was given to her. Now, Thomas Byrne is not on her right, but is on Kyle Bright's left, but on Pamela's right side. And you say, well, how do you know that, Bob, by looking at that picture? Well, I happen to know how this translates to a picture in the computer. The other way is to look at it this way. You see this? This is that sponsorship, those tools that I told you about. So it says that Kyle is under Pamela, is under Bob, and that's all on the right side. Now, if I look at Thomas, I see that Thomas is under Kyle. Okay, now Thomas could be on the right side, or he could be on the left side. You don't know just by looking at this, but you will when I do this. Bingo. Thomas, right here. He's still on the right side, then Dan, and then Levon. Now what this is doing is this is giving the left leg of Kyle. So it goes, Kyle is on the right side of Pamela. Thomas is on the left of Pamela, but on her right side. Left of Kyle, but on her right side. Dan is on the left of Thomas. Watch. Bingo. There's Dan. There's Kyle. Okay. Levon Lewis. Levon is on the right. Now, I know this is where it gets complicated. This is where you got to draw a picture, okay? And this is where you've got to learn how to use all 3 at the same time to draw if you want to draw a picture. I'll teach that later. That's much more complicated. But what I wanted to let you know is you can't just say right. That is not how this is. It just tells which side all these people are respective to Pamela. Okay, if I go and look at Kyle's organization, you can see what I'm saying. And you bring Kyle's up, it's he, and then I would look at his, you see Thomas is on his left. See, Dan's on his left. Levon Lewis is on his left. Same thing I just got through telling you. Okay. Aha. Now who's on the right side of Kyle? We have to go way down here. Okay. Now, underneath all the people on his left begins the right. Okay. And who's the first person on his right? Cindy Kaysen. Did he sponsor her? No. Her sponsor is PJR, Pamela. Okay? So just a quick lesson on it's not always as it appears, and you've got to just have a little basic understanding about it. So let's go back to Pamela. Okay. Now, when your organization gets bigger, right now your organizations are small. For those of you that smart it off, your pay side is smaller. You will be able to grow with this and understand it. Pamela's organization, she's a gold. So her organization is pretty big. So you're going to see a lot more on this screen than you will yours when you're looking at these questions and answers. Now, remember, the most important thing is looking at your personals with inactives, okay? And so you want to check and make sure you got your rank and that they have their actives. To be a bronze, you've got to have 3 actives on the left and 3 actives on the right. Cindy has more than she needs. Doesn't look like there's a problem there. And if you think there might be, you can take a quick check. Let's run to Cindy. Let's make a quick check. What do we look at? Personals. That's all it counts. It's the people you personally enroll. That's why you don't give away people who are strong and who's going to rank up. You don't give them to other people and let them rank up with them. Now, she's got FJG marketing as a copper on the right, and John and Lori Starks as a copper on the left. That's all they needed. 1 copper on the left, 1 copper on the right, and 1 active on the left and 1 active on the right, two extra actives. And they got 2 extra actives on the right and 2 extra actives on the left. So that qualifies them to be a bronze. We see that they've got lots of days of activity left. So that's a pretty strong bronze for the rest of the month. Looks like we don't have to be checking that too often. Let's go back to Pamela. Let's look at the flip side of Pamela. We just looked at the right side of Pamela. Let's look at, to make it easy, I just like to go ahead and click on the side, okay? On the left side of Pamela, we need that bronze or above, right? Well, guess what? We only need to look at personals. There we go. Now, we got a goal. So, bingo, we don't have any problem, right? Man, real quick, we don't have any problem with actives. She got a lot more actives than she needs on her left side. And we already looked at the right side. So Pamela's a strong silver for the rest of the month. Okay? Everybody would agree with that? And so we don't really have to look at that. So for Bob, I can go back to me. We already looked at George. He's a strong silver for the rest of the month. And so Bob pretty well, you know, as long as he maintains the actives and the other people maintain their actives, he's going to stay a gold for the rest of this month. So it's a matter of getting your volume set now. Okay. Next big thing I like to look at in these basic questions here to points that I like is who's going to flush their points soon in my organization. That's very important because you want to be able to, and one way to filter through this is, again, do it side by side and have a list, okay? Because you can either take screenshots of this to help you so you don't come in and out all the time, or you can make a list. And these, you want to look at these and you want to look and see what their username is, because see, their username is right here and you can go to their website and then you can get their contact information if they put it on their website. Everybody's calling me up, well, how do I get this people's name? How do I get that? Well, you can't call the company. Company can't give it out to you unless you sponsored the person. That's part of privacy. But you can go here, and if everybody's being taught right about how to set up their websites and how to display their email address and their phone number at the bottom of their website, you get this, you can go to that website and you can contact them. Hello. Okay. I hope that one point there in training helped you out a ton. Now, the other thing is, if they have a lot of points, notice a lot of these people are probably control centers. But if they have a lot of points like Steven Sloop, I mean, he's got 2,462 points on one side. That's dollars, y'all. And 70 points on the other side. He's got an active. Well, he may not want to lose those points in 5 days. We got plenty of time. And we just see, you can make a quick, fast glance through this thing. And if there's points of significance, those are the only people that you would contact. Like here, Scott Angle, copper. Wow, 2 actives, 2 actives. Now, I know about this one. We talked about it today. And I've already talked to his sponsor, okay? And it's just a matter that the person probably his card needs to be updated, because, I mean, he's only 16 points away from a check. And so who wouldn't buy a coin to make a check, right? And so see why these things are important. And here's Brad Roy. Now, we know that that's a control center, but yet it's got $38,000 on one side. Here's another person that's 8 points away from a check. Ricky Mitchell, 8 points away from a check. Got 2 actives on the right, 1 active on the left. Now you see why these are very important tools for you to use. I can't manage my entire organization, but I can teach you how to manage yours. You can teach your people how to manage theirs. And if by all of us together, we save each other a lot of time. And then we are always helping one another. Okay? So that's really what it's all about. And if you'll do like I do it one side at a time, it makes it a lot easier to handle when you're looking at your business. Now, these are just kind of curiosity questions. Who receives the coin of the month? Who doesn't? You can ask that. It's going to list everybody that receives coin of the month, and you can scroll down through that. These are all people signed up for it. Well, I typically don't look at that question, because I look at, I know people again, I want to know who doesn't receive, who's not signed up for it. That's what I want to know, okay? Because those are the people I want to talk to, or see why, they are not necessarily understand. Many times I understand that it may be one of their control centers. Next thing, here's a very, very important thing. If you're trying to find out where you're going to place somebody on your left and right, you can go down and you want to know, get them under a specific person under a certain team. You can go through each person and look through that organization. But if you actually want to know where they're going to be placed and who they're going to be placed under, at any person, like I'm here at the top, my far, far left bottom, the last person down there is Aaron McDougall. And then on my far, far right is Kevin Quintana. Now, I don't know either one of those people, but I do know Marcos Valdez. Now, Marcos, enrolled Kevin fairly recently, June 13th. So now I can give Kevin a call, because I've got Kevin's username. I can go to the website and I say, Kevin, I'm Bob. I want you to know I'm placing a person right under your right side tonight. And so let's work together. You just got a gift from above. And what if you were receiving that phone call and you just joined the business? Same thing with Aaron McDougall. Okay. Matthew Harris is the one. Now, who's Matthew? Who's Mayhew Harris?
Bruce Harris.
That is Bruce Harris, our potato truck driver, Idaho potato truck driver. He just got somebody on my left side on July 28th, y'all. And so I got to go give Aaron McDougall a phone call, okay? And George's got to give Aaron McDougall a phone call because that's on George's left side. And we all want them to succeed, see? And so that's how you use these tools and to help build your business, help create camaraderie and teamwork. And the other thing, remember, recently enrolled is very important because you want to be able to call and welcome these people to your organization. The next very important part, I'm saving the last one on managing your check here. Then that's who's renewing soon. I want to hit this one first, and it's who is cycling, okay, soon. In your organization, you really want to know who is cycling soon. Now, this changes a lot during the week, but let's look at the left side. And now notice that the Oro ink is 10 points away from a cycle. Now, if they are ordering a coin this month because they are active, if they're ordering it this week, they are going to cycle and make no check. But they'll lose 500 points here and 500 points here. It'll just take it away. The computer will cycle if you don't have an active here and active here. So we need to get to work to have an active here and an active here. I mean, that's $400, and he'll get a $500 check. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we need to get one on his left, one on his right to make him an associate, and he'll get a $500 check. Mike is getting real close to a check to have and you see, you look here and you say, well, has Mike sponsored anybody on his left and right? Well, you go and look at his personal. So that is probably a control center of Mike's, okay? And that's exactly right. And so it isn't that he'll have to make a decision if he wants to, what he wants to do with that in terms of cycling or making a check, okay? Now, most people in my organization know what I do with it. I make a check. But the other thing that I like to do in this is we kind of like to who is cycling soon, and you go through your whole organization just like I just did. And it's better to do it at the beginning of the week, okay? And then you know who you need to check on toward the end of the week. You don't sit here and play with this hours and hours and hours, trust me. Okay, beginning of the month, one of the things that you want to do, we're a few days into this month, but I want to show you one of the most important things I use this for, other than, making sure we get rank changes, we get company county keeps us up with that. You get to see it here in your own computer too. But I want to know who is renewing soon. This is one of the most important things you can do with your business. Go in here, make sure you got active and inactive checked, and do it side by side. Now, on my side, I know that I've got all these people renewing in the month. Well, some of them's gone by because this is August the 6th, 2019. So his enroller was right, Donnie Watkins. And so I want to put Donnie Watkins' name here on this chart, and I want to put his date here of the 6th, okay? And then I want to put Michael Choate's name down here because he's an active and inactive. He's got an automatic renewal on August 11th, but they don't do an automatic renewal on that date. If the person doesn't go into their own back office and click renew now on that date, in other words, it's an individual action, not a company action. The company action comes when? September 1st, 2020, all at one time. So if y'all know your biggest coin of the month, point month day is the 1st. What if all of these process right here, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 23, and many of these are premium. So what if you're just a bronze and you got, in addition to your points, in addition to new people, you got 23 renewals? You're going to lose a lot of points, aren't you? If they're on your pay side. Yeah. So what do you want to do? You want to manage your renewals with your people. And this is where you must write a list like I have here. Okay? You must write a list. Can y'all see my list? How come my camera is not working? I got it open.
It's working.
Oh, it's working? Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, you write a list left and right. Put what I do is I put their name, I put the date they're supposed to renew, and the points that they signed in with. Now, they may not renew with that, but I want to know that information. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also, I can look in here in anybody's name and I can see who their sponsor is. Okay. So I'm going to call their sponsor, not that person. I'm going to call their sponsor because that sponsor may need them to renew not this week, but next week to maximize their paycheck. So it's a coordinated effort unless they can renew any time during this month. So even if their date is on the 29th of August, they can renew on the 6th, and it's not going to change their renewal date. Their renewal date will still go from 29th to 29th. It's just when it's processed, paid for. Okay? So this is where it becomes a real team effort between the sponsor and the sponsor's sponsor. Okay? Those two are looking at their volumes and seeing what best is for that renewal to take place. And then you contact the person and say, hey, Michael, instead of waiting, well, to the 11th, why don't you press renew now? That would help us a lot. And let's say this is Saturday. What is Saturday? What date is Saturday? The 8th? Okay. So let's say we wanted to process on the 8th and not wait till the next week because his 150 points will make $1,000 check for us instead of rolling into loyalty points. And so this is where you really coordinate with your success group. And you can only do it if you have a working list, man. Why you have to get it at the first of the month? Because see, I want to show y'all something. It started with Donnie. That's not the first. See, Donnie was the 6th. Guess who is missing off this list? Everybody that was on the 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, they disappeared. Why? Because it's past their date. Okay, but fortunately, I've got them. Anthony Reid. I've already written them down. Sandra Fitzgerald, Warren Florence, Christopher McMillan, Willie Keys, David Hudden, Stacy Strahan, Weldon Chapman on the 7th. Is Weldon here? Okay. Well, that's why you want to do this. This is, to me, one of the most important basic principles of using this. This is left up to us out here to coordinate with one another if you want to try to optimize your check between you, or if you want it to process all at one time at the end of the month and let them all process and all the points accumulate. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's go back and really look at what I'm talking about. Okay, we go back to your dashboard and it tells us exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, on the first day of the month, isn't that when you get the most points from your coins of the month?
Yes.
And then you add all the renewals for that entire previous month, if they're all processed on that date, and you don't have, let's just look at what I just did. We had 23 renewals. Let's just do 23 renewals at 100 points each. That's 2,300 points plus the 1,800 points. That's 4,100 points. What if you're just a silver? You're going to lose a lot of points, right?
Right.
You could have got paid on those all during the month. Shame on you. Okay? So learn how to use your Downline Explorer. Ask questions if you don't know. And what we're going to do is I'm going to now stop this recording in this session, and we're going